G'day everyone, it's Coach Michelle J. Raymond, and we're here to talk this week about the curious case of the LinkedIn video feed. 1 minute it's there, 1 minute it's gone, maybe it's coming back bigger and better, maybe it's disappeared in its current format altogether. It's anyone's guess, and it just shows you that LinkedIn right now, they don't even know what is going to work best for the members. And I love that they're trialing different things in different regions. No doubt that the LinkedIn short form video feed has certainly gone through lots of changes since we first saw it in March 2024. We've seen it on mobile only. It's recently gone to desktop as well. We have seen it show in feed. We've seen it in a separate feed. There was a video tab down the bottom on a lot of devices, which seems to have disappeared. We have seen it go in and get mixed, in amongst your normal content that was suggested for you. Realistically, it's all over the place. No doubt, though, that there is a rise in short form video on LinkedIn. And I think that kicked off when we saw at the end of last year, 2024, that people were posting short form videos and they were getting millions of impressions. And literally, I know multiple people that I trust and report these numbers, and I've seen screenshots, have content going crazy at that time. Come into 2025 and things have kind of lost their shine a little bit, but that doesn't mean that LinkedIn doesn't place importance on this. And it's absolutely targeted to Gen Z, who make up, practically 65% of the platform. If you're feeling a little bit left out or you don't understand what's going on, it's definitely targeted around them. I'm also thinking about things differently. I have written off this short form video feed myself multiple times as just the poor cousin to TikTok, Shorts, or Reels. We really haven't had a good experience. The algorithm for me has been woeful. It's never actually shown me the things that I want to see. And that for me has really taken away my experience. So it was easy to dismiss it, but there's one thing that LinkedIn's got that none of those other platforms have, regardless of the algorithm, the technology that comes with it. And that is a captive business to business audience. I don't think any of those other platforms have nearly as much influence on the B2B industry as what LinkedIn does on the professional space, on that business space. And I think that's a real competitive advantage. Do I think that they would be working as hard to do this if there wasn't a question mark around TikTok disappearing in the United States? I really don't think that they would be going this hard. But the fact is there is that question mark going on, and that's a big deal. And if something was to make TikTok disappear in the US and they can't find a buyer for it, or that blows up, whatever happens, then what's going to happen is LinkedIn will have a tool that will fill some of that gap. It is definitely going to keep evolving. That we do know. I follow the LinkedIn product managers. We see what they're up to, what they're talking about. But one thing I am absolutely certain of, regardless of what happens with the other platforms in the future, is that LinkedIn are all in on this short form video. Also, they have new ads which are targeted towards these short form videos, and they're doing a lot of work around how to make paid ads, which are short form videos, more successful. So follow the money. Wherever LinkedIn can make money, they are going to keep pushing these new tools. And it's a huge opportunity for them, especially for thought leadership ads and the like, where individuals can create short form videos and then have the backing of companies to help that video be seen by more people. But it also works for brands as well. So there is lots of cool stuff going on around this. Before I get into whether I think this is good for brands or not good for brands, let's put the tech aside. Just note that it's going to keep changing. How you see it right now is not how it will probably be in 3 to 6 months. What I'd like to have a look at is some of the stats that are out there. Now, before we go into the stats around LinkedIn and video that they've reported, our friends at Metrical released the LinkedIn report for 2025. Let's hear a little bit about that. Listeners, I am as excited as I am on a Friday when I crack open my packet of Tim Tams, maybe even a little bit more excited. Why? Because Metrical's LinkedIn study has just dropped and they've shared some amazing insights. In it, I learned things like the engagement rate on LinkedIn has grown by over 18% since 2024. Average clicks have also grown by over 30%. Not to mention, the average watch time for video content has spiked by, wait for it, 68%, which is just crazy. So Metrical's LinkedIn study analyzed over 47,000 professional LinkedIn accounts and more than 570,000 posts. If you're like me and you love to nerd out on all things LinkedIn so you can refine your 2025 LinkedIn strategy, then go to the show notes, find the link to download the report, and enjoy. And I would love to hear what you think was the most interesting insight. Let's move away from my opinion and the opinion of others that I've spoken with, and let's look at some of those stats. Now, I highly encourage you to go and check out the Metrical LinkedIn study. There's a bunch of information in there. All the details to download that, as I just said, will be in the show notes. But LinkedIn have reported that engagement on short form video, there has been a 34% increase, making it the fastest growing format on LinkedIn. So that means more people are trialing it, they're seeing better results. And when you see better results, you're more likely to repeat that. I mean, that's obvious, right? Other things that they're reporting on, LinkedIn users are 20 times more likely to share video content. Now that's huge. When we want our content to be seen by as many different people, making content shareable is super important. So video is perfect for that. Now, I haven't seen that happen in my particular audience. Maybe you have. If you have, drop me a comment if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify. You can leave a comment there as well. But if that doesn't work for you, reach out and connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know what's your experience of this video feed been. Have you been sharing other people's short form video formats yet or not? I'm always curious to see what my listeners, what your experience of these tools are, as opposed to just stats that LinkedIn reports. The other thing that they're reporting, and this one really isn't a surprise, but short form videos under 30 seconds achieve 200% higher completion rates. Now that's no surprises. Shorter, get the job done, and people move on after that. So they'll watch the whole 30 seconds. Ideally, they were saying maximum of around 2 minutes in the same info. And I've got to tell you, unless you have a script and a structure around what makes a really cool 30-second video, it is so much harder to go, in my opinion, to go short than what it is to go long. I find it so tricky. I know there's a formula to it. After this quick break, let's have a look at the pros and cons of video for B2B marketers. Pros and cons. We've got to look at everything from both sides. If I was to look at the pros of video, this is why I love it. I love it for the fact that people come alive. They're no longer two-dimensional words on a page. You know what I sound like. You know what I look like. What's my energy levels like? Do you like my accent? Maybe you don't. These kinds of things, I really like that kind of attention from my audience, because I feel, for me, it takes that extra step for me where I feel more connected to people. We should also pay attention. If LinkedIn is paying attention to video, they're going to help promote it. They want you to have results because then you'll talk about it, then you'll do more videos, and then they can go off to their advertisers and say, look how popular video is. Why don't you put some money on ads here? So if there's an upside for LinkedIn, follow where the money is for them. And that's another opportunity. And for me, I think it should always be a mix. There are people that love to learn via videos, short form videos. And I'd love to see more people having fun and getting creative. And that's the pros with these videos. You don't need expensive equipment. You can literally shoot it on your phone these days. They are so good. And it's often the clever types of videos, the simple videos, the more real videos, the relatable videos that are super powerful. So lots and lots of pros for me. If we were to look at the cons of video, I think it's often hard to get employees or people on video because we're all self-conscious to some level or degree. Some of us more than others. And I certainly can relate to that. And you may think that I'm making this up, but this podcast and me being on videos and speaking on stages would never have happened if I wasn't petrified when I signed up to do my digital marketing course. And I haven't told this story for a little while, but it's always a reminder. When I first started my business, I signed up for a digital marketing course and I printed off all of the info and I was ready to get into it. But the first assignment was record a 5-minute video talking about myself. And I froze and I freaked out and I thought there is no way I could ever talk for 5 minutes. And I know as my loyal podcast listeners, you're sitting there going, no way, Michelle. But trust me, I only recently finally let go of those papers because I was so embarrassed on some level that I had never gone through with that. But that's how I jumped into LinkedIn Live as my starting point. And from there, the rest, as they say, is history. So I appreciate that for some people, video is just a place that they can't get to. I also think others think that you need so much more equipment. The cons that in businesses might be that there's so many rules around what you can and can't do for the brand. And so you might be forced to do something really high level quality, which is expensive, and therefore the project never gets off the ground. So I totally understand it from that perspective. If you're doing it just because LinkedIn loves it, that is not a good enough reason. That is an absolute con for me. You should be doing it with your audience and being in service to them in mind. That for me, listeners, is my very short list of pros and cons, and you should write your own list of pros and cons for you. What's the opportunity if you were to take on short form video? And what is the potential cost, or what is the thing that's holding you back? And do a little work around this, because I'd love to see people do a bit of work and self-check. Let's talk about the strategy behind LinkedIn short form videos that I recommend for B2B marketers, business owners, and those looking to get started on LinkedIn with this format type. First and foremost, I think it is worthwhile investing in the right tools to make the videos. I just said that you don't need fancy equipment, and you definitely do not. So phones are more than enough these days. Just go out and stand outside in the sun. That's the best lighting that you'll ever get. And think about, how can I create something that's helpful for other people? The tools that I would recommend that make it really easy to edit videos would either be CapCut or Descript. Now, Descript is my go-to. I'm going to put the details of all of these tools in the show notes so that you can go and check it out. It really is as simple. If you can edit like a Word document or an email, that's how easy it is to edit videos on Descript. So I absolutely love that tool. It is a must in our business these days. I couldn't live without it. Other people like CapCut. It's also on a mobile version, a bit simpler. Lots of cool things and features that you can use on CapCut also. So check that one out. Horses for courses when it comes to tools. Do you need them? No, but will it make your life a little bit easier? Absolutely. The thing I want to see more of for B2B brands is some creativity, some having fun, some trying new ideas. And it takes a bit of courage. I appreciate that a lot of the times in B2B, we look and go, yeah, that's good for them. They're allowed to do anything, but my brand, we can't do it. And you might just be surprised at who will let you try different things when you come up with a good idea and you can share why, and always be testing stuff on LinkedIn. You may have discovered something that your audience loves, and especially having a bit of fun. I don't think we see enough of that on LinkedIn. Always align it with your audience, your brand, your messaging. Those things are important, but it doesn't mean that you have to overly brand every single video. It's something that I appreciate why marketers want to do it, but there's a time and a place, and subtle branding will always help your videos perform better, because people, when they're scrolling LinkedIn, can confuse an overly branded post, or in this case, a video, with an ad. And quite often we scroll past ads, especially if they're not interesting. The other thing I'd like to see is some storytelling. Storytelling is one of those things I've got to say for myself. I actually thought that it was a little bit woo-woo and who really needs it, and does it really have a place on LinkedIn? Can't I just stick to the facts? Do I really need a story to tell how things are done? And The answer is actually, yeah, I think we do, because they make it interesting. They make it memorable. They make it relatable. Think about how can you introduce elements rather than always sticking with a how-to style video. Everything has its place. It's always about having a good mix of content. And as long as that content is in service of your ideal audience and helps them get closer to their goals. Remember last week's episode, if you missed it, it was all about making sure we're not self-absorbed and talking about ourselves all the time and trying to make ourselves look good in our content rather than we're helping others. One final way for brands to quickly and easily get involved in the short form video trend on LinkedIn is to make sure that you have a great tool for repurposing longer videos that you may have into short form clips. In our business, we use Opus Clip. I will share the details for that in the show notes as well. But within about a minute max, you can go from a long form video into pre-made short form clips. Like, it is literally the click of a button. And you don't need to send everything off to external video editors. There is a time and a place. And if you are at that level, go for it. I'm absolutely cheering you on if you're already there or have those resources internally. But do not let having video editors, if you don't have those resources in your business, the tools I've described, CapCut, Descript, and Opus Clip are your go-tos. And trust me, if we can use it in my business, you can use it in yours. At the end of the day, do I think short form vertical videos on LinkedIn are worth it for B2B brands? I think I'm going to say yes, they are, with the disclaimer of not doing it for the sake of doing it. If they work for your audience, if you tick all of those other boxes, you are there to serve them, you're being creative, you're using them strategically, you're having some fun, then yes, this should be a mix in your content, just like all the other formats. If you discover that short form video format is not for you, maybe LinkedIn Live is. I can't tell you how much I love LinkedIn Lives. They are amazing because you don't have to be scripted. You can grab a guest, you can have multiple people on there, and they are such a fabulous way for building community. I think they will always be my favorite format of video content when it comes to LinkedIn. It's where I got started. It is how I built up the confidence to do everything that I do today. So I love it. For those of you who have never created a short form video, I'd love to see you have a go, because getting started and making that first one is the absolute hardest one. You can go back and see my first video on LinkedIn. I'm very happy to share the link to it. You can see it if you go to the video tab on my profile. It kind of makes me cringe now, but if I didn't make that one, as I said, I wouldn't be who I am today, standing on international stages speaking, without that first cringe video. So I wish you every success. Please tag me in any that you make. Send me the link over on LinkedIn so I can go and watch it, and I'll be there cheering you on. Until next week, cheers.